I have a question for everybody at home, especially the MAGA people, to answer this one. If you fell asleep every day in meetings at your job, whatever your job might be, do you think you'd keep it, or do you think you might get fired by your boss?
The president's inability to stay awake on the job has caused other countries to perceive him differently. They mock him. They see he is weak and he is feeble.
I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. The last time.
Donald Trump is dying.
The White House put me on a list for talking about Trump's health, and on the same day, Donald Trump laid back at the Oval Office desk.
Bro, you cannot make this up. Donald Trump was just caught completely knocked out live on camera right inside the Oval Office. He was literally fighting for his life against the simulation while his team was talking right next to him. And the best part, the White House actually tried to tell us he was not sleeping. He was just blinking. That sucks.
This is a photo that was caught of Donald Trump in the Oval Office yesterday, slumped back in his chair, falling asleep. And the guy behind him looks incredibly stressed because of it. But this is a real photo of the President of the United States. This is another photo from that same press conference. Trump just asleep, eyes closed in the middle of this Oval Office meeting. Even Lee Zeldin, his EPA administrator, is looking at him, concerned that he's asleep in the middle of this meeting. Now, I have a question for everybody at home, especially the MAGA people, to answer this one. If you fell asleep every day in meetings at your job, whatever your job might be, do you think you'd keep it, or do you think you might get fired by your boss? I think most people would say you'd get fired. So why do we hold Donald Trump to a lower standard than average Americans out there who are working jobs every single day?
Donald Trump is dying. He 7 or 8 days ago went to a medical appointment that he posted on True Social, went amazingly well. He took yet another cognitive test. It's not a cognitive test. They're screening you for dementia, Donald. They're tracking the rate of progression of your dementia. He has congestive heart failure. Each one of his ankles is larger in circumference than each one of my thighs. His hands still look like a surgical glove that somebody blew up and then coated with makeup that they put on with like drywall putty. He falls asleep multiple times every single day in the middle of the day, even when he's on live TV and meeting with other people. After that medical appointment, they kept him out of the public eye for 7 days. A medical appointment that he said went perfect, with another dementia screening that he said he aced. I can't even imagine the medical interventions which took place on his physical being over the last 7 days, to the point where they had to hide him from the public for a week. Donald Trump is dying. And there's only so much that modern medicine can do to delay that. It's a tragic, horrific thing. Nobody wants a president of the United States to die. But Donald Trump is dying right before our very eyes, and they can only hide it for so long.
Terrible news. He's still alive. He gave a surprise proof of life press conference in the Oval Office earlier today around 4 p.m. To, I guess, dispel the rumors about either his expiration or that anything is wrong at all. He sounded like shit. He looked like shit. He has still not fully bounced back from whatever it was that was going on with him. I still believe he absolutely hit the ground after being diuresed aggressively through IV and having his fluid replaced, his electrolytes replaced. They're doing their best to keep him alive. I'm going to have a nice breakdown tomorrow of Marco Rubio's testimony at a congressional hearing, especially for the questions from Congressman Ted Lieu. It was incredible. Marco Rubio perjured himself regarding the health of the president, and we have all the receipts. So yeah, bad news, but also good news, because I still think he's accelerating towards expiring. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The White House put me on a list for talking about Trump's health, and on the same day, Donald Trump laid back at the Oval Office desk during a live on-camera event. He's almost laying down sleeping. Look at this. And now we know why the White House doesn't want me talking about Donald Trump's health. This is Trump listening to his EPA administrator, Lee Zeldin. They almost should bring a cot in for him. Look at this.
Of warmth, of a job, an economy, a community, a family. And for too long, you saw Democrats who were telling these coal miners that they should just learn to code.
Now listen, Lee Zeldin is boring. I understand that. But Trump's falling asleep 2 or 3 times a week on camera. And this time, he's almost horizontal. He used to talk to us about how Joe Biden and Barack Obama would disgrace the Oval Office. Obama once put his feet up on the desk, and Biden didn't know what was happening, and it was a disgrace to the Oval Office. Trump's almost laying down his sleep. He's almost entering REM in the Oval Office. Isn't that disrespectful? At any point, social media platforms could decide to no longer show you my content. So if you enjoy these clips, make sure you're on my newsletter for even more content, but so we can always stay in touch, even if a platform says no more. Go to substack.davidpakman.com or click on the link in the bio to add your email to the list.
Marco Rubio literally went on live TV, looked right into the camera, and tried to tell the world that Trump was just deeply listening and fully engaged. If that is what fully engaged looks like, then I've been fully engaged in my bed every night for 8 hours straight, bro.
This was yesterday, the scene here, and there's other footage where he seems fully slumped to sleep to one side of his chair, and then he kind of shifts and falls asleep on the other side of the chair. I mean, it's a long blink. We could count it off if you'd like. He had a Rose Garden event. They've as one of the many transformations of the White House right now. They've turned the Rose Garden into the Mar-a-Lago patio, and he had dinners. So he had a dinner there that went reasonably late on Wednesday, so the night before this scene, and he did have some late night truth socialing, as he always does. But this is becoming almost a daily occurrence. And as much as the White House likes to push back on this, there are questions about, his health, his fitness. He had another physical at Walter Reed a week or so back. We haven't really gotten much in the way of results. A week from Sunday, he turns 80. And yes, we heard for 4 years about sleepy Joe Biden. Not that I like to credit John Heilman with much, but the confession or projection construct here works, Willie, where this is clearly, President Trump projecting his own perhaps frailties and need for naps during the day.
Members of Congress are reiterating calls for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, or for an investigation into Trump's health to begin, after yet another example of him dozing off in the Oval Office. Now, the White House says that the president is blinking. The White House is upset when any reporter shares images or videos of the president like this, sideways and asleep or dozing off. But the truth is, the president has trouble staying awake. I get it. I have a 2-month-old. I feel his pain. But he doesn't have a 2-month-old. And in event after event, he continuously dozes off in the middle of the event. Doctors say that he may have a sleep condition. Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari came out overnight and said it's time for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, saying, quote, "It's a national security crisis." If Joe Biden looked like this at any point in the Oval Office, they would have impeached him and removed him from office immediately. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Wow, so Donald Trump fell asleep again today in the Oval Office, and folks, it is as bad as it ever has been. Here is the photo behind me. You can see there, you have Doug Burgum, you have members of Trump's cabinet and the folks in his administration, and there is Donald Trump, slumped over, sleeping. And all to say, this picture certainly is remarkable, but it was not the only occasion during this Oval Office press briefing that Donald Trump fell asleep. This photo I think is amazing. The reactions here are kind of incredible. But just the way that he's slumping back in his chair, I mean, you know, often he's kind of nodding along, his eyes are closed, but here he's just fully asleep. And look, this is not a pretty picture, but this is an old man. This is a man who is about to be 80, can barely function during the day and keep his eyes open. Trump and his team say this isn't a big deal and it's not an issue, but this is happening every day now in the Oval Office. And we have no clarity and no information on what is happening with Donald Trump's health and why he's falling asleep like this as often as he is. Well, I'll keep asking the questions, and I hope you do too, because we have to get to the bottom of what is happening here. Either way, not a good look.
Trump appeared to completely pass out during his press conference in the Oval Office today. Check it out.
Of warmth, of a job, an economy, a community, a family. And for too long, you saw Democrats who were telling these coal miners that they should just learn the code. And what we saw during the Biden administration at the EPA, for example, was regulation after regulation after regulation trying to strangulate out of existence.
How is this man fit to be president? How is he still fit to be president? How long are they going to prop him up in that chair? First, he goes missing for 6 days. And then Dr. Oz says that he's acing medical tests every single day, but doesn't mention what tests these are. And he keeps going back to the doctor, despite telling everyone that he's very healthy. And now he's dozing off in his chair, like completely passing out during an Oval Office meeting. How many times has he done this already? Oh, but sleepy Joe Biden. That's what they're probably going to say. And you know what I say to that? Both of them can take naps together in the old folks' home. Because fuck you for trying to make me defend Joe Biden. No.
The president's inability to stay awake on the job has caused other countries to perceive him differently. They mock him. They see he is weak and he is feeble. This is a video of a French news channel talking about Donald Trump falling asleep at a Memorial Day ceremony. Please show this video.
Well, Mark, a video that appears to show Donald Trump falling asleep at a Memorial Day ceremony this Monday has been circulating heavily online. And internet users have a lot to say about it. It's also reignited rumors about the state of the US president's health. Now, in the video, social media users say that Trump is fighting sleep whilst he listens to the speech given by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and that his eyes appear to be closed for a large portion of the ceremony. Now, we need to remember here that this is a ceremony to honor and remember those US military personnel who have died while serving in the armed forces. And the idea that Trump was asleep at a somber ceremony like this, well, that has triggered outrage online.
Donald Trump's inability to stay awake on the job shows that there's something very wrong with his health or cognitive abilities. And in fact, on a number of occasions, Donald Trump will contradict himself in literally the same meeting or interview. In this video I'm about to show, it shows that Donald Trump says the Iranian military is both destroyed and not destroyed at the same time, something that Dina Titus alluded to. Please show this video.
In terms of leadership, we've actually left their military alone. People would be surprised to hear that, because mistakes have been made in wars where you wipe out everybody and then you have a country that's, for 40 years can never rebuild. You look at what happened with Iraq. We did so. Iran is in a very bad position. They have no military. All they have is good talk, and they have a fake press.
So Secretary Rubio, instead of holding North Korean-style cabinet meetings where everyone goes around the room kissing Donald Trump's ass, I'm going to ask you to come clean with the American people and the White House as well. There's something wrong with Donald Trump's health or cognitive abilities. There's a reason he keeps going to the hospital and they keep giving him cognitive tests. We have not seen the president in 8 days. The American people deserve the truth. I yield back.
I don't even know how to respond to that, other than to tell you that it's absurd and ridiculous. And I can't believe we're in a Foreign Affairs Committee meeting in front of the House, an important time in American foreign policy.
Just keep lying, Secretary Rubio. Just keep lying.
Supposedly someone who thinks he's a medical expert when he's not. The truth of the matter is we had a cognitively impaired president in office a few years ago. That's a cognitively impaired president, but I don't like to talk about that because it weakens America.
It's got to be exhausting to keep track of all these lies and corruption and nonsense that you got yourself and people into.
When we thought the drama is over, a leaked group chat claimed this was all a 200 IQ distraction. To pass a secret bill, Rubio tried to act like a political mastermind who wanted to be a meme, but Congress called him back to the hot seat, checked the records, and revealed the bills didn't even exist. Rubio got caught lying about fake bills to cover up a previous lie about a daytime nap. It is an exceptional level of lying.
I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. The last time we had a press conference, it lasted for 3 hours. And some people said he closed his eyes. Look, it got pretty boring. In all fairness, I love these people. But there's a lot of people. It was a little bit on the boring side. I don't sleep much, let me tell you. But you know, it's funny, some of them got me in a blink. You know, when you go like, they took me as at the closed segment of my cycle. Besides that, Marco, between these two guys, if I was sleeping, they'd be waking me up very fast. They'd be knocking me, come on, you gotta wake up, boy.
We all know that he doesn't sleep. You know, I'm not a big sleeper either. So, you know, on occasion, I close my eyes if someone's talking for too long, I admit it. But big deal. I mean, the results speak for themselves. What President Trump does on a daily basis. If you sleep 3 hours or 4 hours a night, you're probably going to close your eyes, whether you're 79 or 49. I don't think that matters.
Yeah, President Trump, Thomas Edison believed in the 10-minute nap, by the way. What would they say? We wouldn't have electricity, right?
Don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at how different Donald Trump looks in 2024 to 2 years later in 26. Look at this deterioration as the guy falls asleep in the middle of a press conference.
He has one ability I don't have. Yeah. He sleeps. He has an ability to fall asleep while on camera. You'll never see me sleeping in front of camera.
And that is Donald Trump criticizing Joe Biden for being Sleepy Joe, but now we got Sleepy Don. Like, that's what we have now. And this happens like once or twice a week, and the corporate media refuses to report on it in the same way they reported about Biden's physical and mental deterioration. And I don't want to make this a both sides thing, but I think this is a serious moment in time because the country is spiraling out of control in every way. And Donald Trump is asleep at the wheel, literally. Donald Trump is asleep. Okay. And when he's awake, he's acting like a manic, crazy person, comparing himself to Jesus Christ and attacking every which way, going after Bruce Springsteen and Taylor Swift and tweeting weird shit. And then the next day, when a reporter asks him about it, he can't even remember what he said.
Friends, things are not well. We've got other clips to show you, but I just wanted to show you again Trump falling asleep on live TV. And when he's not falling asleep, he doesn't look or sound any better. So here he is talking about the reflecting pool and apparently what is his true passion: interior design and renovation of public works.
People from Oklahoma, they came from Oklahoma, a company from Oklahoma to do it. But you notice the American flag, he's proudly showing off his work. You know he's not a liberal and or a progressive. Used to be a liberal, but they changed their name somewhere along the way because liberal wasn't working, but progressive doesn't work too. Well, the progressive is a beautiful term. They are not progressive. They're degressive. People from
Regressive is the word you were looking for. Number one. Number two, I want you guys to know Oklahoma. They're from Oklahoma. Did you know they're from Oklahoma? Because he said Oklahoma in about 10 times in 3 seconds. Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. It was his favorite play, a favorite musical. He loves Oklahoma. He wants to see Oklahoma in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, Oklahoma. I almost thought it was like some sort of like password for Secret Service to yank press out of the room. Oklahoma, Oklahoma. Somebody get in here. I said Oklahoma. So again, this is what he's most passionate about. It's what he's trying to stay awake for, and he's not doing a good job. Here's another clip.
Barry Burgum from Interior, Doug, who's been doing an incredible job. So Doug, we have 22 waterfalls. Most of them haven't worked for over 50 years. As of this morning, they all work beautifully, and they're clean. The graffiti
think he's talking about fountains, but again, this is the best. I mean, the American people are languishing under your economy, your disastrous war in Iran, your, terrible tariff regime, everything. Inflation is skyrocketing. And if what we take from you is at face value, the best you guys have been able to do are clean up some fountains. That's it. Probably not a good midterm winning election, strategy.
So it's no mail-in ballots. You see that's what's happening in California. They're rigging the election. Now, maybe we caught them, and maybe they won't be able to get away with it. They tried with me. They did it successfully the second time. The third time, we made it too big to rig. Too many votes. They couldn't do it. They can only go. They sort of gave up at about 9:07 when they got slaughtered with the votes that came.
So again, Donald Trump wants you to believe that when Democrats were out of power, they were able to steal the 2020 election from him. But when they were in power in 2024, that they were not able to steal the election from him, even though he had no power and they had all the power. Doesn't really make much sense. And of course, he's once again just retreating to his claim of any election that doesn't go his way is stolen. It's really stupid and authoritarian. And of course, just the Republican Party has accepted it and moved on, but it should be widely condemned and pushed back and fact-checked.
The quarterback, Jackson, is the quarterback for the Giants. He's a big, strong guy. And I said, how do you think you do in women's sports, Jackson? He said, pretty good, sir. He didn't know I was joking. He was not worried, so let me put it that way. He would have been the greatest athlete in the history of women's sports. You got to see the size of this guy. Like a male model, and he's going to be a great quarterback.
So, Rubio got his dumb ass behind the microphone and trying to convince us that we don't see President Trump falling asleep in these press conferences. Rubio say, Trump is an energetic guy. I never seen him fall asleep in shit. What are you talking about? Motherfucker say, Trump be calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is the most energetic motherfucker I know. But we sitting here watching this motherfucker sleep. Trump be in the motherfucking press conference like this. Trump, God damn it, what you want, man? Shit. Trump tired of the motherfucker. And I'm gonna say this shit. Hopefully, and I'm praying, one day that motherfucker take a nap and just don't wake up. I think that day is coming. I think this is just a preview of what the fuck we about to get ready. One day that motherfucker gonna fall asleep and don't wake up. And that's gonna be a glorious day. Gonna be a good day, goddammit. Shit. Talking about this motherfucker ain't sleep. We sitting here watching him sleep, man. What the fuck you talking about? This ain't the first time. Y'all made fun of Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe, the motherfucker, he's incompetent. He don't know how to. Okay, well, what the fuck we gonna say about Trump? Yeah, that nigga need to go ahead and take his last nap and get the fuck on about it.
Don Snorleone had a stroke on fucking camera yesterday. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience working at home. Sorry. It's just hysterical. I can't even get through my credentials. Anyways.
Of a job, an economy, a community, a family. And for too long.
So here's why I believe this is a stroke-like event or a stroke on camera, or within this 7-day period where he made no public appearances, he suffered a stroke and they were trying to get him to recover enough to go back on camera. Number one is this posture. I've had so many stroke patients over the years that the stroke has affected the strength and the tone of the muscles on one side of their trunk, and they cannot maintain upright posture. But when he's very fatigued and falling asleep, he's going to lean to one side.
Ministry. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Thank you, Lee Zeldin.
That right there was the worst instance of expressive aphasia, a common symptom of left-sided stroke on the left side of the brain where your language centers are, I have ever seen from him to date. Did you hear him mumble through those words? And then he follows it up with good. He reaches for a very simple word because he knows I can't fucking talk right now. Expressive aphasia is different from phonemic paraphasia, which is a typical dementia symptom. But he's got dementia and a history of stroke, so it's kind of fucking tough to tell sometimes. But that sounded like expressive aphasia. Now in this next clip, I want you to watch his jaw slightly shift left and right. The more that his jaw shifts to his right, the more asleep he is, because he has right-sided facial droop from a history of stroke. And his jaw is becoming weaker and more slack-jawed also because of dementia. But you can literally see his jaw slip in and out of awake, asleep, awake, asleep. I am so delighted because this is the worst I have ever seen him. And I can't wait for it to get fucking worse. At this point, he's on 43 days of borrowed time. Who did he borrow the time from? Todd. Todd from Breaking Bad. You know that the Todd guy. From when a fillet of fish should have exploded in his left ventricle, left the land of the living, been impeached, or they should have finished the process of invoking the 25th Amendment. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
An incredible moment in a congressional hearing right now. Representative Ted Lieu was questioning Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Donald Trump's constant falling asleep in meetings, and he caught Marco Rubio in a lie in person and called him out for it and even played the clip to prove that Rubio is lying. This was amazing.
Secretary Rubio, have you been at more than one meeting where President Trump has fallen asleep?
That's false. That's false. I've never seen him fall asleep. On the contrary, the guy doesn't sleep, which is a big problem because he calls me at 2 in the morning. He calls me at 5 in the morning. And, you know, I like to sleep a little bit, maybe not 12 hours, but at least 6. So he works. The other day he was at the Oval Office until 12:30 p.m. 12:30 a.m. I don't know what you're talking about.
Secretary Rubio, I'm going to show you in a moment a video that shows you just lied to Congress.
Oh, okay.
So this is a video of a cabinet meeting literally from last month where Donald Trump is sleeping while you're talking. Please show this video.
A coalition of countries that line up behind the peace deal, behind the border peace, and it's still every day is a challenge, but it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's not our war, it's not the president's war. This war started, it never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it.
You are literally talking about issues of war and peace, and Donald Trump is sleeping right next to you.
No, he's not.
If Donald Trump cannot stay awake at these important meetings where the cameras are rolling, imagine what he's like when the cameras are not there. So I'm going to ask you, have you been at classified meetings where Donald Trump has fallen asleep or had trouble staying awake?
I've never been at any meeting where, and the things you're showing me now, he was not falling asleep. And I think
so. You're lying again. You're lying consistently to Congress
about sleep.
You're lying to Congress, Secretary Rubio. So I'm going to show you another video in a moment. The president's inability to stay awake on the job has caused other countries to perceive him differently. They mock him. They see he is weak and he is feeble.
You'll never see me sleeping in front of camera. He has one ability I don't have. Yeah. He sleeps. He can sleep. This guy, he has an ability to fall asleep while on camera. He can lie down on one of those things, and in minutes, he's stone cold out. How does he do it? And he's got cameras because he's the president, so they have cameras on him. And then they show him sleeping on the beach.
A simple midday nap in the Oval Office completely spiraled into a political sitcom. A fake destruction plots and a literal congressional investigation into Marco Rubio for perjury. Rubio went from being the ultimate loyal hype man to potentially needing the best defense lawyer in Washington, all because Donald Trump got bored during a meeting. You honestly cannot write a script funnier than this. But now I want to hear from you guys. Is Rubio officially cooked, or is he somehow going to spin his way out of a courtroom? Drop your funniest theories and best captions in a comment below. If you want to stay, make sure to like and subscribe. Pop Reacts. See you next time.
You'll never see me sleeping in front of camera. He has one ability I don't have. He sleeps. He can sleep. This guy, he has an ability to fall asleep while on camera. He can lie down on one of those things, and in minutes, he's stone cold out. How does he do it? And he's got cameras because he's the president, so they have cameras on him. And then they show him sleeping on the beach.